the place will spit up on their face. Allow me to lace these self-care methods so you don't wreck it. Who have it hard with toddlers and all the babies? The bathroom and the closet, finding quiet is where you'll find me. The bathroom and the closet, eating lunch is where you'll find me. Mad question asking, Ralphie's blasting, but I just can't quit because one of these bonks we got to comfort. Sleep with, keep it a secret. Why so? Why let your sibling know? That's a big no-no. Now check it, I got more snacks than Target in my bed. Believe me, sweetie, I got enough to be the needy. Kids don't need to be greedy. I got mad pouches in my bag. Yoga by the layers, true mother players. Jump in the stroller and come over. Tell your friends, jump in the ergo thrix. You see, I got the apple juice by the tree. I love it when you call me Snoop Mama. Throw your hands in the air if you could use some air. I love it when you call me Snoop Mama. To the mommies getting rest, working on their chi. I love it when you call me Snoop Mama. You need some acupuncture stats, so please don't put yourself last. Cause I see some needles tonight that should be put in my bag. My bag. Yo, yo, yo! Snoop Mom and Moms! Snoop Mom here, and today I am so honored and privileged to be with an amazing miracle worker, Mary. Mary, please introduce yourself to all of our Snoop Mommy Moms out there.
That's right. I'm one of them. So I'm Mary Reasons, and I'm a licensed acupuncturist at Acupuncture Denver, here in Denver. And there's a group of 3 of us. Jane Gregory's the owner, and we specialize in women's health and mainly the life path of fertility and pregnancy and postpartum.
Perfect. Yeah. So why is Mary and this place so special to me is because I referenced that I had acupuncture done just before I went into labor because my intention was to come in here, get some acupuncture, and to go into labor, and that's exactly what happened. So I feel incredibly grateful for the work that I got to have throughout my pregnancy, but also in that final hour to get me to the home stretch. So today I'd love for everyone just to hear a little bit more about acupuncture in general, but really as it pertains to pregnancy, birth, and beyond. That being said, Mary, first and foremost, for people that don't know, what is acupuncture?
So acupuncture is a modality within traditional Chinese medicine that is the actual physical insertion of acupuncture needles. Very fine, as fine as a single strand of hair. Not meant to be painful, but there is an insertion into the skin that is meant to elicit the flow of qi, or your vital energy or your vital force in the body. And you utilize, there's 12 main organ systems, so you utilize those channels and the specific points, inserting the needle to elicit energy response, or trying to bring the body back into balance. And in the sense of Western medicine, since there are 2 totally different paradigms, Western medicine, it sees it as kind of once you insert the needles, the brain gets activated, the central nervous system, to kind of call forth a down regulation of the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system of rest and digest, because that's where we do our greatest healing. So you insert the needle and the brain gets triggered. What is this? And it releases endorphins, and again, calms the nervous system, that it gets you into that relaxed state to find balance and heal.
Well, I can attest. I just got out of a session after an incredibly stressful week and or beyond my season of stress, and I can tell you right now, I feel good. So thank you. So I think with a lot of pregnant women out there in general, with anything, there's always a heightened response of, is this safe for me? Maybe I should be fearful of this. But in general, what would you say to a pregnant mom that's saying, is acupuncture safe?
Sure. I mean, it's 100% safe and effective. I think the World Health Organization recognizes acupuncture for pregnancy-related symptoms as like a drug-free method or form for women. So it's recognized as safe and effective, and we're taught from day one in school how to treat pregnancy. So it's not seen as like a illness or a disease, but just a natural part of our life processes.
Perfect. So for those women out there then that have checked the box that it's safe, what does acupuncture do for some pregnant ladies?
Well, it depends on like where you're at in the pregnancy, of course through the trimesters, or just what your symptoms might be. In the first trimester, there's recognized like evidence-based protocols or points that are for actually like early pregnancy support care, that it would be to come in for like blood circulation or microcirculation to really support like that implantation and the placenta formation, and again just getting really healthy nutrients or the blood flow to the uterus. And with that, saying before, like the nervous system, so calming the nervous system, it's going to get, in again the early stages, if there's worry or fear or any of that mental emotional state, it's going to help with that. And again, like recognize pregnancy related symptoms in the first trimester: nausea, insomnia, constipation, and pretty much anything that a woman experiences. And it's nice because it's not necessarily like very specific syndromes or, like I said, insomnia or constipation, but it can work on levels that a woman may be like, hey, I have this symptom, have you ever heard of it? That it might not be very specific of going to your OBGYN to have that, but again, the mental emotional level or even like a spirit level. But the physical, there's a lot of other symptoms that women may not talk about openly or just are curious about, that we see for sure, because it's just a different modality for that.
Yeah. So further along, I think every woman out there is looking for some relief, usually in that first trimester, be it sleep or irregulation, you name it.
Yeah.
But further along, can you comment on how acupuncture could play into, let's say, a breached baby scenario, or is there evidence, or is that a part of the healing modality to help with that?
So the two main areas discussed, well, nausea, like in early pregnancy, that's discussed. OBs will definitely recommend, or midwives too, a breech presentation or labor induction. And really we have to distinguish those two from Eastern medicine and Western medicine. Those are Western terminologies of turning a breech or a breech presentation, or do you do labor induction? Because those are two of the main, that's kind of where acupuncture can shine, or where you can be like, it happened, it worked, is for turning a baby and for labor induction. And it is evidence-based and it is recognized. However, we call a breech presentation more like optimizing the environment or optimizing the energy flow to produce optimal fetal positioning. And so it's working again with the energy channels that aren't specific to organ systems or cardiovascular or anything like that, but working on the energy channels that are actually going to be supportive to encourage baby to turn if baby is able and can. And then with labor induction, that's another big one that we actually encourage women to come in for labor prep, starting like at 36 weeks, 37 weeks for weekly treatments, because that also has some evidence to show like the promoting efficient labor, the reduction in cesarean sections, and pain relief, of course, to name a few, even the anxiety of it. But we don't call it labor inductions. It is considered labor prep. We're optimizing blood flow, hormone levels, and just the nervous system or balance to create that optimal environment for labor to start naturally.
And again, not any labors are the same, but I will tell you that I was so dead set. So 13 is my lucky number, my favorite number. It's the day that my daughter was born. It's the day that I was speaking in utero to my son, you should come on the 13th. Yeah. So I'm like, let's go get labor prepped. And again, I came here, end of the day, and hour and a half later, coincidence or not, I think not, I went into labor.
Yeah.
And I will say it was a beautiful labor. It was fast and natural, and I felt good, and I felt guided, and I felt protected, and I honestly attribute a lot of that to the prep that occurred.
And I'll say that, I always say it to clients, like, you know, I didn't do that. Like, you're coming in for the treatment, and I'll do the points or massage or just other offerings to you, but I'm not creating that event. You, as you said, like, there's intention behind it, there's desire, there's so many other levels that, again, you may not speak about necessarily with your OBGYN of like, this is my intent, but it's so energetic and it means everything, like in a session of that's what you're conjuring up. And you know, acupuncture really can be seen as like setting that stage, getting you to connect to that deeper level of intention, or you're all knowing the wisdom that's within you.
Well, so we've now talked about acupuncture kind of from the beginning stages, later, as late as we can go, and then I think one of my last questions, Mary, is what does acupuncture do beyond, like, in the postpartum period?
It's extremely effective in the postpartum period. It's a delicate time. It's recognized. Mother warming is the name of that. The first 30 days postpartum for women, if you would really focus on acupuncture, herbs, some other treatments, massage and whatnot, those first 30 days are very specific. In Chinese medicine or with acupuncture, it's not necessarily receiving the needles, but more, again, warming, connecting to healing the uterus and to promoting like milk production or blood, if there's been blood loss or if there's been more in the sense of depletion or stagnation. We have to work on those two ends to bring it into balance. But the mother warming is basically seen as really, you've lost pregnancy, labor, delivery, birth is seen as a huge qi and blood loss. And again, that's like the vital energy or your vital life force that needs to be replenished. So it is a lot of rest. It's a warming time, like when you empty your body, that's depleted and tends to be void or cold. So it's a lot of porridge or warm foods, cinnamon, and then also encouraging blood flow to the breasts, which in Chinese medicine, breast milk is seen as liver blood. So it's totally different from Western medicine, but you need to nourish and build. And a lot of times women, you know, I'll say try to come in as soon as you can. There are many different protocols and practices that do things differently. It's kind of in your own time, but those first 2 weeks tend to be at home. What can you do at home?
Yeah.
But it is all about not doing much for 30 days to replenish instead of like back at it, you know, like seems our culture is heading in that direction, but to pause and nourish.
Yes. Well, that takes me then to our last question, which I ask all guests on the Snoop Mom channel.
which is for everyone out there. If you had words of advice or wisdom to leave with moms to be, moms that are, or families in general, what would your words of advice be?
So I would say, in the wisdom of the medicine, being that acupuncture or Chinese medicine, it treats the whole being on that mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical level. So in that, it's asking for you to connect to each of those levels, that mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. In conception or in pregnancy, what does it mean to you? Where do you connect with it? What is that inner knowing? And in Chinese medicine, for fertility, pregnancy, it follows the same alignment of our fire and water energy, or fire and water spirit, or the heart and kidneys. That it's the connecting to your truest sense of self, your self-love, what you value, connect in your heart spirit, and connecting that into this deep innate wisdom, the all-knowing, that you absolutely have the capacity to see your dreams realized. So it's connecting on those levels, not just in the physical aspect, but we do a lot of that work here at Acupuncture Denver on the mental, emotional, and spiritual, because it's absolutely necessary.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank
And then,
you.
yes, we plan to link everything below for you to find all of these incredible practitioners and this place that I think is so magical and healing. So everything will be linked below. I always ask that if you found any value out of watching this, that you please subscribe and share with anyone that you think this could help, because that is my mission. So again, Mary, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're
and
welcome.
until the next time, we out. Peace.
Peace.